Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Pluralsight Chief Experience Officer, Nate Walkingshaw.
Hey, how is everyone doing? Yeah. Look, I want you to know something. I am the peanut butter and jelly. I am the center of the Trevor Noah Ellen. I am the good part of the middle of that sandwich. I saw when the marketing team gave me this slide, I'm like, oh boy, it's gonna be rough. First off, welcome. Thank you so much to all of our customers, authors, investors. And on behalf of the executive team, thank you so much for your commitment to Pluralsight. We deeply love you guys. So I'm gonna take you on a little journey. And the thing is that I love stories. I love stories that make me laugh, that make me cry, that change the way that I think. And as you look at these heroes, these leaders on the screen, I can't not help. Yeah, was that for Ruth? I knew it. I can't not think about this concept of adaptability. I mean, think about this. They defied the odds. They dreamed bigger than any person could dream. And it's very, very inspiring. Now, if I want to pop the hood on this concept of adaptability, I think there's very unique characteristics. And a couple of characteristics that I want to highlight here are grit, passion, and a learner's mindset. And if I double click into a learner's mindset, the way that I think about it is that it's really the ability to adapt in any condition that creates significant outcomes. I mean, think about this. All of the people that you just saw, they innovated justice, peace, equal rights, Fred Rogers' early childhood development. And if you look at the journeys, I actually think as I look out at this audience today, as you sit in these seats, I think that we could follow a very, very similar journey. And so for fun, I wanted to replace them with you. And if I were to sit down and I were to interview you, and I were to talk to you about your entire life, there are these moments, these are the experiences along your life that make up who you are, that composes the vast majority of our identity. And as we go through these different conditions and we're faced with different conditions, how we prevail is on us. Now, I'll put up this image. Yeah, I know, go ahead, soak it in. You know, I'm the last person actually to think, again, you guys know I'm a crier, so I'm really the last person to ever think that I'd be standing on this stage today. I'd never think that I'd be the Chief Experience Officer at Pluralsight, you know, working on this mission of democratizing technology skills, managing nearly 600 people to build learning products in 150 different countries. But one thing that happened in the back of an ambulance is I learned grit, I learned passion, I learned a learner's mindset. And the one life skill that came out of this experience for me in being a CXO today is empathy. I learned this life skill of empathy, and it's changed the way that I lead, the way that I show up as a technology leader today. Now, if I apply this to the technology landscape, I don't want to mince any words here. I do not have any hair. We are facing the largest learning curve of all time. We're in what most people would say the fourth industrial revolution. And look, when I sit down and I interview and I talk to my fellow leaders, you're saying the exact same thing. Become more agile, right? We're stuck in our old ways. We were first, now we've lost our position. Now look, to make matters worse, you have mainstream media saying a company's average longevity on the S&P dropped by 33 years in 1964 to 24 years. And then as predicted to plummet to just 12 years by 2027. I also have to build this workforce for the future. I need a thriving culture of learning within my business. But nobody has really told me why. Like, why do I need to adapt? Why do I need to change? And so I wanted to break down in a couple of simple slides what I think is really happening in the industry today. You guys ready? All right, cool. So obviously this isn't exhaustive, but these are all industries. Just put all industries in the back of your mind. I just put a couple up here, but really the vast majority of the industries that exist, on the planet today, from the late 1800s to the early 1930s, like a lot of this business process, intellectual property, the way these businesses were built, the way these industries were built, all happened for the most part in that era. Now, if I fast forward to the 1950s, you had the invention of the computer. Now, this was pretty sweet because what happened is that all of this intellectual property, everything that was existing in all these industries and these businesses got automated. Like all of the mundane got automated into these computers. It was super sweet. Unfortunately, there was only a couple programming languages, which wasn't so sweet, but it really was awesome. It was a huge innovation in its time. Now, look, I can go all the way out here to 2003. And there's this company called Amazon. And you have to think, as a technology leader, like when you look at Amazon and somebody puts out this little prelude, and it says, the vision for Amazon's infrastructure, quote, was to completely standardize, completely automate, and relies extensively on web services for things like storage. Okay, it's like, Amazon, dude, you guys are selling books. Like, you guys are going up against Barnes & Noble. I'm not stressed out as a technology leader at all. And then all of a sudden, 2005, it's like, whoa. We've got Amazon Web Services. Now look, if I'm a technology leader in 2005, and I look back, like I am in mainframe lock-in. How many customers, like just by raise a hand, mainframe lock-in? Raise those hands, yeah. And look, the thing is that I'm also in vendor lock-in. So I've got mainframe, I've got vendor lock-in, and any company that decides to stand up a company aimed at any one of these industries in 2005, man, the pace of change, the way that they can develop products, super, super fast. Now, it continues to be really interesting. In 2010, Microsoft Azure hits it, right? And then today, you've got 4 massive cloud providers. Now, I want to highlight a couple of things. From 2005 to 2010, we're actually going to live through this one more time. Like Pluralsight, we were susceptible to this. We built everything on AWS. Right? So I'm on cloud lock-in, and now I need to go multi-cloud. Okay, so now you have mainframe lock-in, vendor lock-in, I've got cloud lock-in, and none of these cloud vendors are parity quite yet, but they're working to become parity, and that's pretty exciting. Now, I'm going to drill in right here, and this is pretty awesome. Technology proliferation. There's over 600 new languages, frameworks, tools, and processes. This is what it feels like to be a technology leader and a learner today. And if I double-click on this and choose one technology, over the last 12 months, a front-end language called React has over 13 version controls over the last rolling 12-month time frame. That's crazy, right? Yeah, that is nuts. So I'm in Utah, so I wanted to be language appropriate, but in my mind, this is what's happening. And you don't have to go very far to actually look at what the implications have been in this use case. So if I'm financial company, financial XYZ, and I was one of those companies in the early, late 1800s, the thing that's pretty awesome about this is that the financial institutions that exist on the planet today, they actually invented banking. They invented the entire industry: consumer banking, investment banking, credit card processing, wealth management. But the thing is because there's so much technology proliferation, they're facing some pretty massive headwinds. And if you look up here, you can see mobile, AI, machine learning, blockchain, data. And look, competitors ran straight in here and stole the value chain away. They stole it. Now, just by raise a hand, who has more than 2 of these products on their phone today? And raise them high. Yeah, take a look around, guys. That's pretty amazing to me. Now, I also want to tell the other side of this story. FinTech Inc., or the financial institutions, they did have market forces. But the thing that's pretty cool about this is that these other companies, these fast movers, They're actually facing the exact same problem as the big financial institutions. Because if you go poll job postings on the internet today, they are literally going for the exact same skills, the exact same roles, and they're trying to build the same types of products. They're trying to build products for you and I. They're trying to race to the edge. They're trying to race to personalize experiences. And it's cool because we're going to get a much better product for it. But companies that deploy grit, passion, and a learner's mindset, and look, a lot of the financial institutions that I know well, they're very close friends, they have deployed this. And what's happening is that they're going back into the marketplace and they're stealing the value chain back. And it's sweet because it is a much better product for consumers. We're getting better security. We're getting better blockchain. We're getting better skill development. And this whole thing is all happening right now. Now, if you're a technology leader today, I love it. I don't know about you, but this is fun. I mean, we're authoring the pages of what technology is going to look like in the future. It's super cool. Now, I do want to paint a little bit of a different picture, which is building a path to a new frontier. And I want to do this through the Pluralsight product story. And before I do that, can I ask my entire experience org team to stand up, please? Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So, I say this every year, and I mean this, is that I am like the lucky overhead stiff that gets to tell these stories. But these teams out here, these teams are in the trenches building these personalized experiences for our customers. And they are so committed to launching these beautiful designs and listening to our customers so that we can constantly improve our product. If you see any one of us, we would want you to tell us anything that's going on with our product so we can always improve it and make it better. Now, in 2015, when I walked in the door, I met Aaron, and he gave me the mission, which is to democratize technology skills. And you've heard that over the course of the last few days. And when I walked into that door, I want you to know that I was faced with both the same external and internal forces. Like these conditions that I was going to face, I had to really exercise these three characteristics. And here's the reason why. We were a pretty small team in 2015, but we loved acquisitions. We had already acquired 8 companies. So really the core team from Pluralsight was about 5 of us. And I wanted to go in and define 2 things. The first thing I wanted to define is how we were going to work. The second thing was how we were going to architect. And look, any technology leader knows that really the way that we design the architecture of our products defines the way that we're going to work in today's time and age. Data alone changes the way that I organize. Data streaming changes the way that I organize my teams. And so the first thing I clicked into is, well, what are our values going to be? What are our behaviors going to be? What is our workflow going to be like? And I wanted to establish how we behave right out of the gate. I wanted to embrace scientific thinking, be vulnerable, lead with humility. And I wanted to produce something inside my company. I wanted to produce something very, very special that I think we're all challenged to do in today's day and era. I wanted shared language. I wanted shared workflow. I wanted shared context. But most importantly, I wanted to be able to relate and feel safe. I wanted to create psychological safety in my teams so that we could build the fear of failure out of our business and allow us to test and learn and test and learn as a team. Technically, we had very similar challenges that I think most of you have, which is we were a monolithic web app. We were .NET and Angular. And we were moving to Polyglot, which were multiple languages, multiple frameworks, multiple tools and process. And there's a whole reason why this is super important for us. I wanted diversity of thought on my teams. I wanted autonomy, accountability. But think about this, hiring velocity. If I'm only .NET and Angular, I can only hire .NET and Angular engineers. I wanted to be able to hire anyone. I mean, if you think about the mission of our product, and the product sits in marginalized communities, We wanted to be able to bring those people to the table and help them inform the way that they learn. So we want this opportunity. We want this option to bring these teams together and understand how people learn from around the world. This is a super important thing to think about as you think about architecting and building your teams. Now, we were on-prem, that's true. We were in a colo, and I had to drive down to the colo, with a small team. Is it Via West? And then we had to migrate all the way to the cloud. And now we're on this multi-cloud journey. So I'm moving to the clouds. Aaron said Polynimbus. It's like, I thought about Harry Potter yesterday. I don't know why, but it was kind of cool. Mouth's a little dry here. Okay, and then we wanted to build in data. We wanted data vascularity. See, when we moved to microservices, all of that data sat in our microservices. And now we needed to set that data free, and more importantly, we wanted to secure it, and secure that data by design at the very base layer of our application, and just the way that we showed up to work every single day. So this created the foundation to the organizational structure. Now, I get asked a lot about, okay, talk to me about the org design, what worked, what didn't work. So I wanted to provide 2 simple slides around organizational design. I would say from 2014 to 2016, we were matrix. There were functional leaders here at Pluralsight. And the reason why we had functional leaders is because we were so immature on our practices. We were developing continuous delivery and continuous discovery, DevOps, big piece, lean for us, Kanban, WIP limits. All of these things were really important to the way that we worked, the way that we developed. We wanted to talk to our customers. But we hadn't built a practice or a muscle of conducting voice of the customer interviews, synthesizing that feedback, putting that into designs, and then shipping it to production. We were actually not great at, when we listened to the customers, we kept putting ourselves in the middle of the designs and pushing them, to our bias. So we had to shape this muscle and learn how to do this over years. And if you fast forward all the way to 2019, this is what this organizational design structure looks like today. And the reason why this is so important to me is that we really moved from matrix to business units or value streams. So on the blue bars, this is us being so committed to our customers. So we're organized around our customer, leader, learner, content creator. These are our authors. Infrastructure and security is by design. The general managers are in charge of product market fit, but this yellow box is practices. We are committed inside of Pluralsight to make sure that every single person gets the same implementation of how we build products at Pluralsight, whether that be the way we engineer, machine learning, data science, product management, user experience design. Everyone gets the exact same implementation. And then the commitment there was to put principles. So supporting people inside of these functional business units to make sure every single person felt supported in their career path. All knowledge, skills, and abilities were supported. And then now we've moved on to the platform as a service era. And really what that's all about is setting all of kind of our Legos, our parts and sets free so we can extend them out to our customers and they can go use them on their own. So this set us up to be able to align to our mission. This mission of democratizing technology skills. And the way that we show up every single day, is super funny to listen to Trevor Noah, was to change the world. We feel like we can change the world. We feel like our products can have such an impact inside of your companies, in front of marginalized communities, that we feel like we can change. We can give people identity. We can give people safety. We know the opportunity is not equally distributed. And this really, for me, guys, sits on a big topic, which is discussing outputs versus outcomes. So outputs, in the old technology era, this is what it looked like to me. Over the last 40 days, we shipped a bunch of stuff. And we were committed to ship dates and get ship dates out. And, look, outcomes aren't bad. We have to be committed to outcomes. People have to count on us. Our customers have to count on us. Our learners have to count on us. We need to deliver these experiences. But the thing that's so awesome is that if you think about outcomes, You know, an outcome for me, and I'm going to show you a video in a second, but an outcome for me is that millions of learners have to go through these experiences to know if we've made any impact. We have to know if we've done anything. And so everything that we do here at Pluralsight is to capture that voice, to understand and synthesize it, to prototype, test, and validate the designs. And so as you look at these new experiences that we produce, that this is from aggregated, repeatable feedback in every single design comp that captures the voice of the customer, puts it onto the page, and then allows these people to react, to give us their candid feedback, to know if the content is fresh, to know if the user experience made sense, to know if the engineering round trips in the browser in India or in a marginalized community was fast enough, to know if our videos would play on low connectivity. And it was all wrapped around the opportunity to see our customers receive what I think is the most precious gift, is the gift of a skill. Gosh dang, I'm an emotional guy today. Trevor Noah is balling the whole time through his talk. So I'm going to play a video on what I experience as an outcome.
بتخيل بأنها تكون متوفرة لكل الناس بأي وقت وبأي مكان، لأنه إحنا كشباب بنحتاجها عشان نلبي شغفنا. هلا برأيي التكنولوجيا ما إلها حدود، فهي بتتقبلنا بكل أشكالنا، سواء ذكر أنثى كبير صغير، هي بتعطينا كل شيء إحنا بنطمح له أو بنحتاجه.
هو مش مجتمع منغلق، هو مجتمع منفتح وبحب الاطلاع وبحب الاستكشاف، بس he want a chance.
This was a great example of us getting out there and really testing to make sure we weren't making assumptions, to make sure that there's value, there's relevance to the product in the place that we are looking to reach.
There was a girl at the lab, she said, "Never in my life did I think I would ever be able to operate a computer. And now I can go on and operate a computer and even do some programming and help develop an app." Just there, she will walk away and have an impact on society because she will leave and say, "I didn't think I could do something, and now I see that I can. What else am I capable of?"
That to me is an outcome. So the push is I really want you to create outcomes. If you look at all of these heroes and you think about who you are and everything that you're doing, and you deploy grit, passion, and a learner's mindset, and the learner's mindset is the ability to adapt to any condition that creates significant outcomes, I believe that we can keep up with the pace of change. In fact, I think it's imperative that we do it. I think we have to do this as technology leaders today because we truly are the authors of what's to come, and we need your voice. We need you inside this community to help. So my call to action to everyone here is to share your knowledge, to listen. All your answers live in questions and how you actively listen. This is one of the most powerful statements that I've had in my life. A huge impact that I just need to stop talking and start listening. I want you to relate, include one another, honor a learner's mindset. Your voice matters. You matter. Thank you very much.